Alrighty, so I wanted to give you just a bank of exercises that are good for the core, the deep core, and the pelvic floor that you can just have in your arsenal, right? So what you could do is you could like honestly go through like this whole entire video if you wanted to. That would take a little bit of time. You could also choose to do like 2 or 3 core focus exercises and like 1 or 2 glute / pelvic floor exercises for like 10 to 15 reps each at 3 to 4 rounds. And that could be an additional like end of your workout to something else you're doing, or it could be something you do just any day, any time of day, at home, whatever. Also good for after the baby comes. So I'm in the nursery again because I am going to eventually use the crib for my anchor point, but let's just go top down from what's on your sheet here. So bird dog, and I have put in parentheses that it's all trimester friendly, which is true. It's early postpartum friendly as well. And there's different ways to do it. So you can do, set it up where you want to find your neutral. Let's go back here. Find your neutral pelvic tilt right here. And then you extend opposite hand and opposite leg in opposite directions without dropping into that core. So you want to keep that core in. Think of keeping your hips parallel to the ground and that stomach up, not necessarily sucked and tucked in, but just up in a flat level position as you extend. So you basically want a flat line from your thumb down your spine. A little bit of natural curve in your back is fine. It doesn't have to be overly flat. And that line extends all the way to your heel, okay? So you can alternate, you can do 10 on each side, and then as you either get a little bit more uncomfortable or in the early postpartum period, you can do half bird dog. So what that means is either doing legs, so extending only the legs, or just extending only the arms, okay? That's just gonna help throw you off the balance, which is good still for your core contraction. So you can do bird dogs all the time. Tabletop elevations, tabletop position, knees right under hips. You will rotate through your pelvis, inhale down, exhale up. Find that neutral pelvic tilt as you exhale and hover off the ground for 2 to 3 seconds each, making sure shoulders are over wrists for best stability, okay? Now we have dead bugs. You can do these as long, let's go this way. No, let's go this way. As long as you are comfortable on your back, okay? So a dead bug is on your back. Yes, you can be on your back during pregnancy as long as you get down to the floor and off the floor safely. And if you feel okay down here, A-okay to do it. So you want to make sure knees are over hips to start and wrists are over shoulders. You inhale, everything comes out, opposite directions, exhale, everything comes back together. Now you can also do dead bugs in half as well. So you can do just arms, again, just throwing you off, allowing you to focus on your breath as you do that, or just legs. And it's also okay and encouraged if you start to feel any pressure in your midsection, the very center of your core, or in your low back, encouraged to do like higher elevation in that leg so that you are not extending all the way to the ground, because the lower you drop your feet to the ground, you're working against more gravity. So that's what makes it more challenging, okay? Now we're gonna roll back over. Should put these in the other order, but anyway, mini cat-cows are in here, just good for pelvic mobility. Highly encourage you to do these like honestly every day. If you want to get on the floor and just rotate through your pelvis with some mini cat-cows, if you're feeling crazy, you can throw in a full cat-cow, and that is okay as well. Now we're going back to our back. So back lying, heel taps, same rules apply. If you feel good to get down here and stay down here, nice and controlled, you are going to elevate your head off the ground if you feel comfortable, but you can also keep it on the ground, and it's just a lower intensity exercise that way, which you are going to, computer stay on. All right, you're going to keep your legs bent and literally just tap your heels slow and controlled straight down to the ground, keeping your heels bent. As you do that, you're gonna feel a stretch and a tighten in your core and in your obliques. So inhale down, exhale. Okay, so let's go back to a tabletop position as we go into a bunch of, now these are going to be more of the glute and pelvic floor focus, but your core is still engaged because it just throws you off balance. So kneeling tap backs, tabletop position, okay? Find the neutral tilt, and you are just going to tap the foot straight back and bring it back in front of you. You can by all means not drop that knee to the ground. That's going to make it more challenging, but if you need to rest, you can. The biggest goal here, I'm going to do the other leg so you can see what it looks like if I throw my glute off balance. So I lean to the side because the outside of this glute is not engaged. So you want to keep that engaged and up into your oblique to not move at all. Just let that foot go forward and back, okay? Also in that position, if your hands ever get tired, put them into a fist right here. And also you can break these up. You don't have to do all of these in a row, okay? So we're gonna be donkey kicks. So same thought as not rocking our hip side to side, but you want to keep heel flexed, knee bent as you bring that knee down and up, just kicking to the ceiling and then going into a fire hydrant. So also here, you're opening that bent leg straight out to the side without over rocking. And as you get a little bit bigger, mobility is a little bit different. You might not be able to lift your foot as high. That's a-okay, all right? So those are the kneeling fire hydrants. Now we're gonna go into a supported side plank plus leg lift. So you can do this supported on the ground or you can elevate onto a surface, either one. So like the crib right here is like, I don't know, like the bottom of it's like a foot off the ground. You can support yourself onto a chair as well, like this. So you'd be leaning into it side supported. Let that bottom knee be out far enough that it's still kind of an angle, so kind of a side plank. And then a leg lift just opens the straight leg up to the sky. Keep your knees and your toes facing forward, and that's how we're gonna really fire up the glutes. The leg that's solid is the leg that's working, and I just felt that. So that is your supported side plank plus leg lift, and then two more things on the ground. Clamshell, so you're gonna be in that side lying position, right? Heels are stacked, knees are stacked, hips are stacked, and you keep your feet together as you open that knee to the ceiling without over rolling into your hips, okay? So we got clamshells, and I'll go this way so you can see me, and then just good old traditional glute bridges, also good to just kind of release some pressure. So you can do reps, or you can just hold it. Keep the feet in the ground, different variations of glute bridges that you can do as well. So those are all of the floor exercises. I know it seems like a lot, we're already 7 minutes in, right? Then standing. So I'm gonna do these kneeling just to stay in frame, but we have the pallet press and the wood chopper, which we've done before. I'm bringing out my handle bands so that I can show you an option for if your arms are hurting, your wrists are hurting, holding on, like actually holding onto a band, especially if you also did the floor work combined with it. So let me wrap this around to make sure you can see it, because otherwise I'll be out of frame. But what you can do with a band with handles is you can put your flat hand into it, or you can even put your whole arm into it, so it's just kind of holding, and you can still have tension and do the wood chopper will be easier. Wood chopper will be easier, support the other hand, to do with the arm straight through, or just holding with the palms flat. You can still always want tension for that pallet press, okay? So the pallet press and the resistance band is gonna come kind of just straight into your chest. Tension to start, and we're going forward and back. All you wanna do, exhale, everything kind of comes in, hug the baby, a little bit of a pelvic tilt, inhale in, and you're just gliding it forward and back, okay? You can always adjust how your hands are just to see what feels best. If fully gripping it feels best, then go ahead. And then we're going into that wood chopper, which is just a 45-degree rotation to one side, okay? So those are the only two with the band. If it feels good, they're really beneficial, especially that pallet press. And then we're going into incline plank plus hug the baby. So I'm gonna even do an incline kneeling plank just because my hands are on a lower surface. If you do this elevated against like a countertop, for example, different story, but elevated plank still has your hips down like a plank position. I want you to release, like let everything open and just kind of hang, and then think of hugging the baby. Bring everything in as you exhale. So inhale, let everything hang, open up, exhale, hug the baby. You're gonna feel that contraction even in a supported plank, and it's good for that mind muscle connection like we talked about. So incline knee drives, so these can be like slow mountain climbers, so you can be here. Again, my elevated surface is a little bit low, but just slow and control that knee in. Yes, you can still do that elevated on a countertop. And then incline plank to down dog. So plank position, and just come up, down dog, control it back to plank, and inhale down, exhale lift, and I think we have one more on here, incline plank leg lift. So good for the core and also good for the glutes and pelvic floor. While you're here, incline plank position, and just lift one leg at a time, or even do an incline plank position. Now, if you do that, you're not going to lift your leg quite as high because it'll arc in that lower back. So what might be better if you feel like you can't hold a plank on the elevated surface you're at, elevate to something higher so you can still lift that straight leg forward and back. Now, that's a lot, but you can kind of go through and pick out the exercises that you like. And again, you can choose to do a few of them each day. You'll find ones that are your favorite and just go with that. So I hope that's helpful.